A very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to ELITETV and you're watching Open Debate in English. I'm your host, Chongtham Amrita, bringing you this topic, PM Modi's last 5 years and Manipur. Manipur have witnessed PM Narendra Modi's last 5 years, which was his second term as the Prime Minister of the country. And with respect to that, we have viewed from the lens of what he has done for the state of Manipur. In his second term, there was a lot of casualties and calamities, including COVID, Ukrainian war, even the Gaza conflict and the military coup in Myanmar. But before we go to that, he is seeking a third term, the results which will be out tomorrow. But before we go to that, it is only logical that we recall what the Prime Minister has done for the state of Manipur in the last 5 years. Although the country has been plagued with the casualty and the calamity of the pandemic during COVID, which the state and the country was in lockdown for almost 2 years. And after that, when Manipur was just coming to terms with normal life, the 3rd May incident of last year began to hit, and again it plagued and it really crippled the state in terms of economy, social life, and political life as well. So in terms of this respect, we are going to discuss on this matter. So to discuss on this matter, let's take a moment to welcome our panelists for tonight. Our first panelist for tonight is Ms. Chitra Ahanthem, independent journalist who has been a former editor of Imphal Free Press. Welcome to Open Debate, Chitra. Our second panelist for tonight is Satyajeet, Bureau Chief, UNI. Welcome to Open Debate. And our third panelist for tonight is Sonamani, which is a renowned socio-political commentator. Welcome to Open Debate.
So thank you for inviting me, Amrita.
Thank you. So before we begin, I'd like to come to you, Chitra. Let's start with you first of all, because you're a lady and you're here in our studio for the first time as well. So we have seen the 2 terms of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi of the BJP regime. So he says that if he comes to power for the 3rd term, he says that he will bring decisive policies to the country, for the country. So my question is, was there an absence of decisive politics during the first 10 years, but especially during the last 5 years, and especially with respect to Manipur? How do you see that with regards to his attitude towards Manipur during his second term?
It's not a difficult question to answer, because we have seen exactly what's been happening in the last 5 years.
Right.
I keep saying that in my analysis of what is happening in Manipur is exactly what has been happening in mainland India, where one community is pitted against another community, where there are fissures or fractions, erupting between, say, majority community and a minority community. And then there are what is portrayed as legitimate reasons for either community to be at loggerheads with each other.
Right.
When it comes to Manipur, for instance, I think there is a basic lack of understanding of the issues that people in Manipur face, and of course the Northeast India as well. He's a bit. I think what's happening in Assam, for instance, even before what happened in Manipur, in Assam, of course, we had the whole violence happening over the CAA protest happening there. And what I see happening in Manipur is actually an amalgamation of what happened in Assam plus what happened in Jammu Kashmir, where the assembly has been suspended for the past 3-4 years. And where it looks as if that peace has come to Jammu Kashmir, but actually if you go and meet the people there, it is not so. So if you look at developmental works, for instance, what developmental works have we achieved? Whatever has happened in Manipur, any inauguration that has happened, it's not like the BJP can take credit for all of that, because those were foundations that were laid during the previous regime as well. And this is not just in Manipur, this has happened elsewhere in other parts of the country. What's also interesting is that the BJP and Modi per se has so much of an issue with the legacy of the Congress government, that he goes on shutting down institutions that were built up by say the Congress regime. So, but that's another story, because in Manipur, thankfully, it hasn't happened. But in Manipur, I don't think we have had any major infrastructure being laid down. We haven't seen any major developmental works taken up. What we are seeing, of course, is the violence. What we are seeing, of course, is so much of intolerance and hatred that's being perpetuated between two communities. And we keep saying that it's been 13 months now, and it doesn't happen in any other part of the country. It hasn't happened anywhere in post-independent India. That sectarian violence has been allowed to happen for more than even a week. It doesn't even take a week. You take any major violence, be it the Godhra incident, be it the CAA protest in Delhi, be it the Babri riots, be it the Bombay riots, be it the 1984 riots. None of the violence, happened beyond a 3 or 4 day period. But in Manipur, we are seeing it, and of course, everybody knows that he has not spoken at all. He has not visited the state. It was Amit Shah who came, he came somewhere around May, June, July, and then of course he came again for this election. But Modi never came, and I think there was a very famous incident where everybody thought that he would speak in his program, in his very popular program called Man Ki Baat, and then he didn't say anything about it. So I think it's very obvious for people to see that he hasn't done, him and his government hasn't done much for the people of Manipur.
Indeed, very strong remarks, and from Chitra, thank you for your first opening comments. And now I'd like to move on to just Satyajeet, because we are seated in that order. We have heard from the Chitra of all the things that could have done right, that had been handled very wrongly from the central government. But now I'd like to, before we dive into that, I'd like to ask you is that during the second term of Narendra Modi's regime, there was this COVID pandemic that was very unfortunate. It lasted almost 2 years, and then there was the Ukraine conflict, the Ukraine war, and the Gaza conflict, and also in 2021 there was this military coup in Myanmar. I think all of that naturally impacted the economy of the country. But even then, when this conflict started in Manipur, and after that all of the economic activities are halted. Even then, even before that, there was no such thing that Manipur per capita income could be raised. So why is it that the per capita income of Manipur is at one of the lowest? And also just recently, just a few weeks ago, there was a report that was published that said that the inflation rate of Manipur is very high. So do you think that all of these external factors was the only reason that affected to this, or is there other things that impacted this?
Thank you, Amrita. I would start by saying that the people of India had lots of dream when Mr. Modi came to power in 2014. Dream is something different, and reality is something different. And we have seen lots of changes and lots of conflicts during the last 10 years. It is one of the most controversial 10 years, I would say. And in this regard, if you look at the wealth share of the people, 1% of India's population, they have hold over 40% share wealth of the entire country. Last year it was 22%, but this year, just imagine that 1% of India's population, they have control over 40% of India's wealth. So this has led to a decline in the wealth. It has led to the decline in the capability to buy goods in the middle and low class, and it is largely due to some policies adopted by the government. For instance, if you take up education, now it has been privatized, and the money given to the higher education has been lowered, and there has been some changes in the education policy also. It is trying to change the entire syllabus, so we can devote an entire day in education sector. And if you come to defense also, defense, the government to some extent it has tried to build some indigenous armaments. It is good, it is acceptable, but the problem is the Tamu will be knowing better, because since he was in the army, the employment thing, because now after the Agribi system, people are revolting, and there has been lots of controversy this time.
Yes.
And if you look at the agriculture, it tried to pass 3 farms law. The government had to go back because of the agitation. So, and then if you look at the GST, then demonetization, lots of controversial decisions were taken. So I think most of the decisions, it favored the rich. And the other aspect which the government, people criticized the government was because most of the public sector units like BSNL, then some of the ports and some of the profit-making airports, for example, New Delhi, Guwahati, and most of the ports in the south, they have been privatized. They have been given away to the Adani, even coal sector also. The norms earlier was the companies which were at a loss, they were privatized. But during the last 10 years, it was changed. Only the profit-making companies were privatized. And the privatization method was also quite very controversial because they were given lease for 50 years. Even Guwahati Airport, now the Imphal Airport, now it is in the process now. Imphal Airport will become Adani Airport very soon. I think the process is almost completed, and it will be on lease to Adani for the next 50 years. So giving a security zone, for example, if you look at some of the establishments, for example, railway, airports, then Doordarshan, All India Radio, these are some of the establishments which should be fully controlled by the government of India. Airlines also, because if there's a coup, then if there's a national agitation, so most of the politicians, most of the opposition, they have also suggested that such structures should not be privatized. But so the government has taken some very controversial decisions, and we have to see to that. And if you look at the health sector also, but the government has done some good initiative because it has taken up some pro-poor schemes. If you look at those who do not have TV, who do not have cars, they can get free treatment till 5 lakhs. That is a welcome step. But regarding coming to Manipur, during the last 2-3 years, the loss which we have incurred, it cannot be calculated. It has yet not been calculated. It must be in terms of gross. If you look at the flood, it happened in the last 3 days. We lost medicines worth 15 crores. Then about the clothes, because all our imams, they have put lots of clothes in the market. Most of them are lost. I don't know if they can be recovered or not. And I think 80 to 90% of the goods stored by our business classes are in the Imphal areas. They are all underwater. So the loss must be in terms of in thousands of crores. The figure has to come from the government. We do not know the figure. And so, and if prior to that, we have seen an entire 1 year plus another 2 months of conflict between 2 ethnic groups. This is very unfortunate. We have lost more than 220 people, and more than 41 people are missing, including 31 Meiteis. Most of them are Meiteis. And so when people are fighting, they do not think about the economy, they do not think about their future. And the problem in Manipur is for the last, about 2 months now, people have been defending themselves. People have been fighting to save their lane. So I think people don't have time to think about economy also. So I think this is the perfect time for the government of India to take up some economic reforms. I think Manipur problem can be solved if government of India pumps in about, people normally say about 1,000 crore, but I think about 5,000 to 10,000 crores is needed because 60,000 people have been displaced. Their house have been lost. If you look at Kumuzamba Lekai is one of the oldest human settlement in Manipur. Nongta Lain Pakhangba, he was the first king, Nithoja king, and he had 2 sons. One was Khuyao Tompo, around 100 AD. He established Kumuzamba Lekai in Churachandpur district. So I think one of the oldest human settlement, it was completely destroyed by the Kuki. So it is quite unfortunate, and I think re-establishing, then building up the entire infrastructure in Churachandpur will take a very long time. Then you have seen in More also, and even in the valley areas also. But fortunately, the difference is in the hill areas where the residences of the Meiteis are concerned, they have been completely destroyed. And if you give 5 lakhs to construct a house, 5 lakhs is nothing. It will take in terms of crores.
Right.
So I think pumping in say huge amount will solve the Manipur problem. But there's a change in the last 10 years. Prior to 2014, the government of India used to give special plan assistance every year. By using the special plan assistance, Manipur government was able to construct assembly complex, secretariat complex, and the 3 imam markets. But lots of developmental activities were done by taking the money from special plan assistance. It was cut off.
Okay.
Then the other thing is there was a new policy by the government of India. It said that the states should be able to stand on its own leg.
Right.
So the problem is it has some difference. If you look at at India, we got statehood in only 1972. Whereas other big states, they've already got statehood in 1947, 49. So by the time we started, they were already quite ahead. So I think the government of India should change the way it looked to the northeast, to Manipur, I think they should pump in a huge amount so that we can grow and we can start living as other fellow citizens in other parts of the country are living.
Yes, that we in equality and as par with the other states. A very good point, Satyajeet. Now moving on to Pawang Sonamani, please supplement your points to our previous speakers as well. And what I'd like to know from you is, we have discussed since the second term of Prime Minister Modi that there have been a very unfortunate COVID pandemic that affected the economy of Manipur and also the lives of Manipur. Many lives were lost, and the most impacted, not only just that, because of after the COVID, this this conflict has now displaced a lot of people and also affected the business and the economy. And after a year, just a few weeks ago, it's still continuing, the effects of the cyclone Rimal, which is flooding all of the markets. There is a huge loss of so many business in Manipur. So the next government, which will be, and that we will know from tomorrow, what are the steps that he or she must take in order to restore this destruction of small businesses or micro businesses that was flourishing in Manipur? What are your thoughts on that?
Amrita, thanks for inviting me. Good evening to everybody. My colleague Satyajeet and Madam
Chitra.
Madam Chitra Ahanthem from Delhi.
Yes.
And the listeners in the world, I bow my head to you. You see, Manipur, we are really in a very awkward situation now. One is the nature is not cooperating. Another side, the government of India is a very casual behavior. In such a horrible situations, the government of India is distanced away by taking a cover, saying that let the election be over, and then followed by the government be installed. Then again the portfolio should be distributed. Until such time you wait. This is a very wonderful suggestion what the government of India is one of the second in command, Sri Amrita ji, what he said. I term him that this is not at all a desirable speech what he had spoken. Prime Minister, too honorable Prime Minister, he is the world's most popular Prime Minister in the world. I agree. But he too distanced. Perhaps, I don't know what is the reason behind it. The head of the government should not have behaved in this such unbecoming way. I say the word unbecoming way to a Prime Minister because finding no other way I am ought to say. When we are dying and we are not in a position to breathe properly, and on the other hand, we see that this Chin Kuki Joe, this terrorist people, they're suddenly uprising in a secessionist movement, and government of India is giving a free rope to the suspension of operation. All these criminals people, they are in lieu of disarming, rather they have been allowed to arm. And that the same arm more than 2,300, 2,400, these people they use randomly, and the government of India has no control, has no say to say. And suddenly, all of a sudden, these people they had been planning and contemplating it since last 4 or 5 centuries onwards, if I'm correctly understood. And this is being orchestrated, and this is their headquarters is in the Mizoram. They say Mr. Jaramthanga, he openly and overtly and very emboldeningly what he said, we want to have a separate country, a Joe. So Manipur, 3/4, the land, then the Assam, Tripura, Bangladesh, then so and so, and from these states and the countries, we want to amalgamate and we want to have a Joe land. This is his, in the language, what he said. So everything was being orchestrated slowly, gradually from the epicenter is the Mizoram. Anyway, that's quite okay. But the Manipur government, since last 4 to 5 decades, what had been doing, I do not know. This kind of a conspiracy was hatching out clandestinely. How long entire the Manipur 3/4 of land, and these people, they were conspiring it as if that nobody had spelled even a single word. And the Manipur intelligentsia and the government of India's intelligentsia, IB or subsidiary intelligence bureau or special bureau, I do not know what was their report since last 5 decades. It is not all of a sudden they planned it. It planned from long 5, 6, 7 decades onwards. All these refugees and illegal immigrants coming and entering and sheltering by the Mizoram, then trained, then slowly, gradually, after 5 years or 6 years, when they are familiarized the Indian language, Hindi or English, then by providing them and entering them in the electoral roll, then again offering them the Aadhaar card, then slowly, gradually, they were pushed towards the Manipur, because Manipur is the softest place. Manipur is the best sober place. As no law prevails in Manipur in hill areas, this slogan had been raising from every corner of Manipur. But the Manipur government did not take any serious. Manipur government ridiculously said that no, the law prevails in the hill too. It was never.
No.
Manipur people, particularly valley people means we don't segregate that the Chin, Kuki, Jo or Tangkhul, Naga or this thing. No, everybody comes and settle by virtue of the capital. And this place, particular valley, belongs to every community section. So this has been conspiring. There are bureaucrats, there are top police bureaucrats, then the all India's allied services people, then their politicians. Everybody, they clubbed together for years together. They had been conspiring. Even today, it's an example of the 10 legislative assembly members. They eat, they draw money from Manipur, and they enjoy in the Mizoram. They spit on the government of Manipur, and that they don't follow the Manipur Legislative Assembly law and the rule. They say that what we say, what we do, that is a law, that you have to accept it, and we are ought to accept, because government of India is not coming forward to solve this issue. As such, I said, Amrita, government of India's Mr. Modi, headed by him, I have my due regards. He had done many good things. Most likely that he may come tomorrow, he may come back tomorrow. Okay, I wish him all the best. But why he has so much hatred attitude? I say very profoundly, government of India, why the government of India, why you were so hatredly, you look from a distance? Why you did not have any kind of courtesy that when the hundreds of people are being butchered, they're killed by the terrorist people? Government of India's head of the government, you refused to come. You visited Assam, you visited Kaziranga, you have seen so many animals in the Kaziranga, you enjoyed it, Honorable Prime Minister. It is your personal affair. You deserve it. This country belongs to you. You visited Arunachal Pradesh. Your aircraft could take only 22 minutes from the Nahar Lagoon to the Imphal, because your aircraft is a very costly and very sophisticated and very well secured aircraft, very fast, can fly, like the American one, the Air Force One, that type of very costly airplane. Only 22 minutes could console and to rub the injury, which they did not do it. They did not want to come, so they are not coming. If they at all come after the death, what is the meaning of your coming and arriving here and consoling? It has no meaning at all. Now I must say that very frankly, Manipur government, Manipur citizen, we should know that how to protect our own state. I am an Indian, out and out. I follow the Indian constitutions. I don't want to utter any word which goes against the government of India, but I am made to feel as a non-Indian, because India government has not looked after us. Indian government apparently is a bias. When in valley area, a young man for the right of private defense, when the Manipur government and the armed forces people, they are not in a position to protect fully on us and cannot provide the security, and this the terrorist people, they're advancing day by day.
Right.
Day by day.
As you mentioned that this terrorist community are advancing day by day, and you mentioned all of this hatred that you said that the Modi and the Amit Shah duo combined regime has towards Manipur. So do you think that this indifference, this hatred, these atrocities will still continue if let's say Narendra Modi comes to power again tomorrow after the election results are out? So do you think this will continue in the same way again for the third term, again for another year for the third term?
Very good points that you raised, Amrita. Thank you. Exactly. I am Sonamani Singh. My habit, my culture cannot be changed so easily. I was brought up, now I am 82 years old. If I were a young man, perhaps that can have been amended. I am too old now. What I think, what I thought about 80 years before, same thing it will prevail. What Mr. Amit Shah said, he is not an ordinary man. He is the Home Minister of 142 crores people. I am fully aware of the MHA. He looks after more than 35 departments, if not more.
Right.
It's a huge, like an Indian Ocean department. When you compare the populations and the other 40, 50 small countries' population does not even come to the equal number of the Indian citizen. They are knowing fully, they know that what was in Manipur, what is Manipur, they know that they wanted to maintain the balance. What kind of a balance? You cannot secure the lives of the Manipur. I would like to bring it the attentions of the Manipur government. Manipur means the Manipur king was ruling, and it was under our history. We go back to the 12,000 years before. We are not like a district, or we are not like a state that due to poverty that we merged to India. No. Your men came, your ambassador, your envoy came and they requested to join with the India in the mainland. In good faith we joined. Today, because of our good faith, we join it, and that we are suffering now. So I would like to ask the government of India, whatever the consequence might come to me, I am ready to face it. But I am being a citizen of India. Can I ask the Honorable Prime Minister and the Home Minister, are you happy that our so many innocent people are being killed without any rhyme or reason? And you seem to have propped them up because you have not asked the suspension operation, these 2,400 people who are possessing these dreaded arms and who are using on us. Are you not an Indian, government of India? Do you think that we are separatists or we are a different countries, the citizen? If you think that we are a different country citizen, we will be more happy, since you have totally ignored, since you have totally ruled out to come and visit. You did not have time even for 10 minutes to come and console the hundreds, the family members who have lost their near and dear one. Rather, you said that you wait, let the election come, let the election be over, let the so many paraphernalia being followed, then we will come. What do you mean by that? Yep, your children are hospitalized.
Yes, on that point, I would
after
like to
surgery.
take that.
1 minute, please.
Yes, I'd like to
Yep,
take
your
that
children,
point too.
Yeah, I'm coming. The half minute. Yep, your children. We are your children. Yep, your own children are in the hospital in a very in a serious trauma that they are suffering it. Are you not going to visit the hospital? So also we ask you. You said that we are your children. You have ignored and you have ruled out to visit. Now the decision lies and to the world people, how the government of India looks after the Manipur. But we shall not die. We will fight it and we will try to protect. Thank you.
Indeed, very good point. You mentioned a very good point, Pawon. I will come back to you again in the next round.
Please.
So you mentioned regarding that the Prime Minister's silence. Indeed, that is a very big big issue that the people of Manipur are very piqued about. So I'd like to take that point to Chitra. Chitra, as you mentioned, and Pabung Sonamani has also said that he, just to paraphrase what he said, was the old habits die hard. So even if the current regime comes back to power again, the same things will continue as, and I think it is very much in line with what you mentioned earlier regarding the Godhra riots, because of the way the sectarian violence was led to happen, and this same thing has been, the same thing is carried out even in Manipur. So on that note, the infamous silence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because we remember we were waiting for Man Ki Baat and to listen to what he had to say regarding the issue, but well, a year has passed, nothing has been said, and the chance, I think the window of opportunity to say something is even past now. Now people don't want to even hear it. So there was this protest of breaking away all the radio sets. So yeah, now moving to, coming back to my question, do you think that, well, this question is, the question is asking itself, to be honest. So as a presiding Prime Minister, do you think at least he owes some words to the victims that are suffering in this conflict? So yeah, just your thoughts on this, what we have been discussing previously, and yeah, to this.
Before we go into that, see, I just wanted to supplement to a few points that my co-panelist Satyajeet had raised. You know, this whole thing about the concentration of the economy, the greater loot. I will say the greater loot. It's like India has been colonized by conglomerates of certain business bodies. Mm-hmm. You know, he was talking about how airports are now under lease. You would be surprised, even the Red Fort is under lease. It's now being privatized. So you are talking about companies moving into historical places. And I see that what is happening in Jammu Kashmir and what is happening in Manipur is also going to follow into the grand pattern of companies and conglomerates coming in under the guise of, you know, say peace efforts or whatever. But also I wanted to address this thing of where Satyajeet had said that, you know, that the government, whoever comes into power, needs to pump in money. That is also required, but before the money comes in, what is very important or what is more critical is the fact that the violence needs to be stopped. Mm-hmm. The violence needs to be stopped and a mechanism needs to be set up where the communities can talk to each other. I don't think we can go on, that the Meiteis can go on saying that all Kukizos are terrorists. No, it can't be like that. And it cannot be that when I say that, if I face backlash from my own community, then not many people are going to say that. So everybody tries to, you know, to a safe line, because everybody is walking on eggshells. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important that side by side, along with the economic, push, we also need to talk. We are also going to need disarmament from both sides, because there are heavy arms being carried about, being used on both sides by both communities. So disarmament and a stop to violence and a mechanism for justice and just dialogues. I think people to people dialogues are important, because if you keep seeing, you know, yes, whenever something happens, when say a violence happens in some part, and then suddenly everybody gets tends to abuse each other. But the other day, I was seeing, you know, on social media, somebody was just putting up a random post. You know, it was not even a so-called social media influencer. Somebody just put up some shots of some photographs and made a reel of a few famous hotspots in Manipur, like the Nambol Bora Hotel, mm-hmm. Loktak, and places where Singju is available and where Kelichana is available. And you could see that people from the other community, they were just commenting and saying that we missed this, you know. And you can't have that if both communities actually really hate each other. It doesn't happen. So I would say that, you know, along with the economic push, we are going to need a lot of empathy. Mm-hmm. But looking at how things are going in Manipur, I don't have too much of hope. I'm a little bit cynical seeing how Jammu Kashmir has been kept in a limbo for the past 3-4 years. Right. You had the longest internet shutdown in Jammu Kashmir, and then of course Manipur, we broke the record. Mm-hmm. Manipur has had the longest internet shutdown history, right, after Jammu Kashmir. So I don't see much in terms of, that things will improve if the BJP comes to power. So we'll have to wait and see. But I don't have much hope from them.
Yes, as Chitra has mentioned that she does not have much hope, even if the BJP comes to power, that things might change. On that note, a lot of exit polls are available since yesterday, and many exit polls are stating almost 300 plus wins for the BJP. But now I'd like to come back to Manipur. In the case of Manipur, a lot of exit polls also said that the Congress will win both the inner and the outer parliamentary seats, and the BJP also says that their candidate Basantu Kumar will in fact win the inner parliamentary seats. Both of the parties are in fact are sure of a win, but on that note, we all know that exit polls are in fact a small sample compared to the real figures. So do you think that in the case of Manipur, the exit polls will be surprised? What the trends, because the ground reality we have seen, there was so many violence, and also there is a huge anti-incumbent, anti-BJP wave in the valley, in the whole of Manipur in fact. So what are your predictions regarding that? We are not talking just about the exit polls, but since of course just tomorrow the results will be out, but what are your thoughts on the two states in Manipur?
Amrita, before coming to that, I would just like to add one issue which Chitra also mentioned. India was conquered by a company, East India Company. Then in 1857 it was transferred to the British Empire. I think, and after that we had a long history of democracy, conflicts, emergency, everything. The only thing which we fear is we hope it is not transferred to a company, to two companies, Ambani, Adani, whatsoever.
Right.
So we hope democracy survives and we have a vibrant democracy. And coming to the issue now, by 9 a.m., 10 a.m., by noon tomorrow, we'll be knowing the results. And the problem with the exit polls is, about, I think, 64 crore people. About 64 crore, they exercise their franchise in India. So it's a huge numbers. But exit polls are done by just calling up about 100 people, 200 people. So I think it is not reliable also. And if you look at the past history of exit polls, some were very correct, because the methodology they adopted were very scientific. But the problem now is the newspapers and the exit polls, the companies or the agencies which conducted the exit polls, they are under scrutiny because they are not reliable. And so I think people do not trust it also. So we have to wait till within 24 hours. I think when tomorrow afternoon we'll be discussing who will be the Prime Minister. So I think we'll have the exact data tomorrow by noon. But if we retrospect to exactly what happened in Manipur, I think Manipur needs an electoral reforms. Not only Manipur, but the entire country needs an electoral reforms. Because if you election is conducted by the Election Commission of India. The way the chief commissioners are elected, the way the election commissioners are elected, are not elected, appointed by the government. It is questioned now. The rules are changed. So I think we need a transparent, accountable Election Commission of India to conduct a free and fair poll in the country. And then the role of money power is very important in India. That's why I said that money reforms is electoral reforms is required. If you look in Manipur, I think a candidate can spend around 95 lakhs in bigger states. In Manipur, they can spend up to 75 lakhs, a candidate. But I think they must have spent in crores. I mean, unofficially, because during this election, about 10,000 crores were seized by the Election Commission of India. Just imagine, in this entire country, 10,000 crores. It's a huge number, and it was seized, and thousands of crores must have gone underground. I mean, they're doing all the bad politics whatsoever. And we have to appreciate the Election Commission of India also from another aspect, because the number of people who voted, it is about 1.5 times the population of the G7, that is US, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Canada. So it's a huge number also. So on that aspect also we have to appreciate the Election Commission of India, and I think about 1.5 crore officials conducted the entire election. So I think, and if you look at the in Manipur, there were lots of problems also, boot capturing, then armed people threatening candidates, then even election agents, then polling agents of a particular candidate, especially of candidate of Congress candidates, his polling agents were threatened.
Right.
It was quite unfortunate. It never happened earlier also. I think we look forward to seeing such a position in the future where people can vote on their own free will without any coercion. So I think we should look forward to seeing such a day in the future. And I will conclude the second.
Yes, calling for electoral reforms. Indeed, that has been one of the biggest voices that have been demanded by the people of the country, in fact. And in return, we get simultaneous elections as the answer, but we'll see how it goes. Now, coming to Pabung, we have been discussing about the exit polls, but not really regarding the numbers, but we have heard yesterday that the Aam Aadmi Party's leader, Somnath Bharti, she said that she will shave off her head if Modi comes to power, with a firm conviction, saying that because somebody just does not announce that she will shave off her hair, and she says that with full conviction that Modi will not return to power. And on that similar lines, even Congress leader Shashi Tharoor also said, yes, I'll come.
If I may just interrupt,
sure.
In politics, people get away with murder, and she's not the first person. Actually, Sushma Swaraj, the late Sushma Swaraj, said in Parliament that she would shave her hair if Sonia Gandhi was voted back. Sonia Gandhi was voted back. Yes. And she didn't shave her head off. So politicians are actually very good liars.
They
get
keep
away
saying.
with
Indeed, that's of course has been said. So the exit polls say there is 300 plus win, 350 plus win for NDA, but there is also other side of the India bloc that says that they will sure come to power, they will sure gain the numbers. So briefly, Pabung, what are your thoughts? Please tell do you think the India bloc will have the numbers, or the NDA alliance will have the numbers to make the next government? Of course, we will know it tomorrow, but just the suspense is just for the sake of this suspension and for this discussion.
Yes, Amrita. Yeah, everybody is keenly waiting only for tonight. When the tomorrow morning 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, including me, just to sit in front of you or some agencies, millions people or billions people are watching the Indian democracy, the norms of the election. According to me, the BJP is coming positively.
Okay.
I repeat again, BJP is coming positively in the power. May not be that 3/4, or if not, they are getting more than 300 rupees along with the NDA and their supporting groups and the parties. Okay, that's a very good thing. Then we congratulate in advance to the BJP-led government, Honorable Prime Minister, and his all other cabinet colleagues. But my contention is, what election matters to us? When my family members are getting killed, what do? We people in Manipur, I have descriptions about the Manipur. I am being an out and out Manipuris or Meitei. We people, we claim that we are educated. May be correct, may not be correct. Many PhD holders, many engineers, many doctors, many bureaucrats, many politicians. We really want to fight from my bat. I am expert of giving so many advices, rather than the coming in the field and involving it. When my motherland, when my country, erstwhile country, is burning, why we people, rather than the talking and giving advice from other parts of the world, and especially from the Manipuris community, rather than the talking and the giving advice or writing in the papers, this is absolutely, I don't accept it. This is the moment, particularly, we all people come forward, irrespective of the sex, irrespective of his status, so call your status. Your status you keep in your pocket. Don't forget that you are a Manipuri. You have to protect yourself. And you cannot say that I am a bureaucrat, I am a top police ranking officer, my children should not come forward, and I will keep you under lock and key. That means you are a treacherous to the community. This is the time everybody, including the chief minister and the ministers, our the Miss, she said that one word, I appreciate the Chitra Ahanthem. Most of the politicians, we really know that how to talk too much. We have no principle.
Right.
A person who talks too much, that means he or she is not to be trusted and not to be taken into whatever he or she said. This is called the Indian politics. Indian politics is in one way very good, on the other hand very nasty, because we have no discipline and we totally contravene the Indian constitutions. Our freedom of rights has been given in the Article 19, A, B, so and so, so and so. How the Bengal Chief Minister, how there she spoke and she said that Prime Minister Sala, see, even the Manish Shankar Iyer, मोदी चाय बिक्री करने वाला, जिंदगी में इसको कभी बैठने प्राइम मिनिस्टर सपना देखने भी हम नहीं देंगे। अगर वो यहाँ प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनने चाहते हैं, पार्लियामेंट के साथ छोटा सा मैं एक झोपड़ी बनाऊंगा, उसको चाय बिक्री करने दे। मनीष शंकर अय्यर जी, you had been 50% Pakistanis and you are 50% of Indian. Which country you belong, we do not know. Mr. Modi is not my brother. Mr. Modi is not by blood, but let us respect the head of the government. Let us not try to, abuse that his status and his power. He is a Prime Minister of India. We are not supporting Mr. Modi or BJP or Congress. That is your concern. And Chitra said that most of our politicians, they blatantly, they are liar. Because they know how to twist. Yes, some leaders are there who are not in habit. Mrs. Gandhi, I work nearby her. She spoke less, like the Basbaiji, like L.K. Advani too, I work nearby him. They talk less and they talk only the required things. They never exaggerate in this manner. So now coming to the Manipur context, as you said that BJP and allies, they are coming definitely with a landslide victory. There is my personal assessment and evaluation. So there is nothing doubt. Opposition's party, whatever they say, it is their rights, fundamental. But they should not speak in such a way that where their own status are being, degraded. That should not be. Say, let us try to learn from Sonia Gandhi. She is a mother. She is a mother. She has become a grandmother. Now, we should follow that her principle. Sonia Gandhi, I admire, I respect. She talked less and she speak where she is required, where she is asked. Although she is one of the most important lady in India as well as in the abroad. So we should learn from such kind of a leader. So BJP is coming in the power, definitely, that we should not disappoint. They have done it good. It's a 142 million, the millions people, 1.42 billion people have casted, more than 50%, 66 or 68% people, the Indian people have voted. This is the largest ever chunk in the world. What the Chief Election Commissioner, what he said today, we should be proud of it. But the only thing is that if you were crazy, if you were only in the rocket race to become a Prime Minister and Home Minister, till I become a Prime Minister and Home Minister, let other states let it be burned, let them die, let them finish their life. So let me be within the ambit of my own area just to form the government. But that's a principle that we don't buy that theory. First thing is that you're being an Indian Prime Minister, or you cannot come. Your other emissary can send it, can sit it for 30 days or 1 month or 2 months and see and try to solve this issue. This issue is not going to die down so soon. This is a long 5, 6, 7 decades onwards they have prepared it. So even the government of India, apparently, she is also in the mind that something to be awarded. Am I wrong or am I correct? That the time will prove. But their behavior, that has absolutely, we have not accepted their behavior, government of India. Let them come. We will be happy. They have worked hard, let them come. But that doesn't mean that Manipur, let it burn, let the Manipurese people die, let the Manipur citizen people die, let them go to hell. We will form our government and we'll try to show to the world and we'll flex our muscle that India, the BJP can form the largest democracy in the world. that slogan be kept in one side. You try to save your own children suffering in such a huge number. Still, they have not ordered. That is the only thing. We limit this topic to the wisdom of all the international people, and definitely the international people, they are watching us. I do not know why the Manipur government, are you trying to government of India, are you trying your best to segregate the Manipur into 2-3 pieces? I think that will not allow it. Government of India, you may agree, you may try to divide it, but till the last drop of blood will defend and will protect our motherland. So we leave it to you, the BJP, the government, prime ministers and the home minister, or the other your paraphernalia. Let you come, it's okay. Let Congress come, okay. Let communists come, okay. For us, this government is a government, but you treat equally. This is our appeal, and you should treat equally. We will not appeal anymore. This is our fundamental rights. We are your children. You're being the guardian and you're being the father and the parents of us. It is our imperative duty, government of India. You should see equally. We don't see that you're a Christian, you're a Naga or Kukyu. In our eyes, Manipuris, everybody is equal, and we love everybody. This is called the Manipuris culture and custom and costume and tradition and convention. You must learn it, Prime Minister and Home Minister, from us. We are not biased. So let the BJP come. It's okay.
Yes, Babu,
let the Congress come. Okay for us. Whosoever come, we congratulate you. But you cannot behave in a different way. One eye you close it, another one that you open your eyes. You have a sub corner, and you are trying to propping up, or you want to segregate the Manipur, or you want to part way. You want to divide the Manipur. That
I'll take up that point and I'll put it to Chitra. As we have come to the last segment of this open debate, Chitra, I'd like to know from you, it will be your closing remarks as well. Tomorrow we will all know by this time who will be the next Prime Minister, but it looks like the wave is going towards the NDA alliance. So even if the Prime Minister Modi does comes to power, do you think the Home Minister, the current Home Minister Amit Shah, will still retain his seat? Because there are a lot of news brewing up even within the party that the Modi-Shah nexus are facing some animosity even within the party as well. And with how the handling of the Manipur situation, obviously the Amit Shah's Amit Shah's and Modi's this nexus is. Yeah, it's. I think a lot of people are talking about it, and also regarding what we have discussed earlier about the wealth accumulation of about 73% of wealth to just 1-2% of the country's rich, super rich. So the trend that this current regime is going towards is very much anti-poor, is very much anti-Northeast, anti-Manipur also, so to speak. So what are your closing remarks on that, and how do you see the next government, and what are your expectations as well? Please please put it in brief.
Two things, about Modi winning or the NDA winning. I go by the dictate that in politics, till the last vote is counted, you don't stick out your neck and say that this one is winning.
Okay.
You have also to realize that apart from the fact that exit polls are very flawed, there are some expert methodologies. These are people who are trained in methodologies on how to, take up exit polls. Like Prannoy Roy is one, Yogendra Yadav is one. And there are only a few other people, but if you look at all this media house exit polls that are projecting the numbers, these are all again owned by the very big conglomerates that Modi is a huge, they are good friends. So they don't want to rob the ship, so to say. There are, but the other thing is that more than the exit polls, what I feel is more of a worry is the fact that the ECI is no longer what it used to be. At one point of time, we had gentlemen like T.N. Sheshan. We had also J.N. Indo from Meghalaya. they could pull up people and then, give them a piece of their mind and then show them exactly how democracy functions. If you look at the current incumbent ECI chief, he was put in at a very last moment, and he has got ties to the BJP and the RSS as well. And there are, in fact, cases at the Supreme Court right now which has not been heard, where they have said that they didn't give out the number of people who went to vote. So that's what the opposition is saying, that when you don't give a tally of the number of people who voted, you can actually, fudge the numbers later. So that's another thing as well. For me, if the NDA does, end up winning, and has a third term, then I would say that it doesn't bode well, not just for Manipur, but it doesn't bode well for the rest of India as well, because there would be nobody, because they know, they have undermined the media, they have undermined even the judiciary, because you don't see the Supreme Court taking so much of bold action as it used to earlier, off and on small cases, yes, but on big cases, it looks like it's going to do something huge and, take the government into account, but it doesn't fix accountability on the government. So I would say that if the BJP does come into power, then it doesn't bode well for India, because there are so many statements where they have said that they are going to take away words like secularism from the Indian constitution. And once you take that out, then even it's not just the Muslims who are in trouble. Even people in Manipur who are Hindu but who also follow Sonamahism are also going to be in trouble. Then the people from the tribal areas, they are also going to be in trouble, because they are not Hindus as well, So when you take out a word like socialism, when you take out the word like, because these are not just words, they are bound, because once it's in the constitution, it means that you can take redressal. But if you take them away from the constitution, there is no mechanism by which you can hold the government accountable. So it is going to be very, very, very problematic for how it goes. So we'll have to wait and see where the fate of India lies. And in terms of where Amit Shah comes into the picture, Amit Shah and Modi goes a very, very long way. They have known each other. And in fact, the talk in Delhi circles, in the journalistic fraternity, is that both of them know the dirty secrets of each other, and that's why they'll never fall out with each other. They'll always be friends. They'll always be, together.
Right.
So wherever Modi is, there will be Amit Shah, I'm pretty sure. And there is no way that he is going to ditch Amit Shah right now. So we'll have to see where it goes. But I would say that
just before you end, just very quickly, I just remembered yesterday the assembly's elections of the states of Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim was out, and we have seen that in Arunachal Pradesh BJP won a landslide victory, and while in Sikkim it was opposite. The national parties, both the national parties, BJP Congress, did not win much, but the regional party, the SKM, I think he won about 30 plus seats. So how do you see that? Because in Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh, both northeast countries, northeast states, and obviously the Arunachal Pradesh was much expected. But how do you see that, and how do you see that in the future? Because it was the first time the simultaneous election was held in these two states, and more, of course. But how do you see that in the future?
I'll tell you one thing, barring, say, a place like Assam, but even Assam also, I think the way people vote, people in Northeast India, the way we people vote and the way the rest of India votes is very, very, very different. In the rest of India, caste plays a very important role. So you have to look at caste, you have to look at communities, you have to look at incumbency. In Northeast India, it's not so. Whoever is in power in the center, people assume that we will get more benefits, and so hence you all tend to vote for that same party. And then once in a while, of course, you have what is known as the regional party coming up, like for instance in Nagaland as well. But then at the end of the day, they also go along with the BJP, in partnership. So the BJP is very good at breaking up parties and pulling people along, and so you never know where what Sikkim is going to go through, because I mean, we have seen it happening elsewhere also, that even in Manipur, for instance, the second term we all thought, no, the first term that Biren won, we thought that it was the Congress which was going to form the government with the one independent person, and yet it was a Congress MLA who crossed over to the floor and said that, you know, I'm no longer going to be a Congress, and that's the first time in the history of that, you know, after the anti-defection law that had happened, and the legal recourse takes such a long time that, you know, that issue could not be addressed at all in the 5th term that certain gentleman said that he was leaving the Congress. So we'll have to see how, you know, because or even pairing themselves in, they might just say that we are becoming the BJP, because the BJP is very good at bringing people in. You know, there is this whole joke that says that the BJP is a giant washing machine. That if you have criminal cases, against you, if you join the BJP, your criminal cases, the charges will all be dropped. So that's one major, you know, carrot policy that they play. So we'll have to wait and watch how it goes on. But yeah, it's very pretty clear how people in Northeast India vote. We vote very differently than the rest of the country, definitely. Yeah.
Indeed, very good points. And moving on, because our time is almost up, but I'd like to move on to our panelists in the studio. During when BJP nominated Sri Basanta Kumar as their MP candidate, they assured him that he would even get a ministerial seat when if he wins. The thing is that the people of Manipur wants an MP who will be sitting in the parliament, and he's very vocal about Manipur, because the last time the former MP Sri R.K. Ranjan, when he could not say much, he said that he could not speak much about Manipur because he was a union minister. So if the BJP candidate wins the MP seat and is given a ministerial berth, he will be continuing the same thing that former MP who has done, and not being much vocal about Manipur. So do you find any contradiction here, any logical fallacy here? What are your thoughts?
I remember an incident, it was quite a long time ago. A former chief minister, he assured about 10 to 20 MLAs that they will be given home ministry. So as Chitra was mentioning, politicians, I will not say they lie, I will say they give false hopes, and they give dreams, and we people, we are flooded by dreams. So coming to the issue, I would say that in Manipur we have seen lots of good orators, and we have before coming to that, we have to see that today that earlier educated people were politicians. They were very good orators, they were statesmen, and they were quite honest, and they were able to lobby in the center and in the state, and they were in touch with the people. Now the problem is most of the leaders, they are not in touch with the people. They are scones in their own home, they are quite protected, they are quite far from the people. That is an issue. And the other issue is, when a person goes in as an MP, he or she has the full right to speak. He or she can ask questions. And when R.K. Ranjan said that he could not speak because he was a minister, I think people criticize him and people question him also, because a member of parliament is supposed to speak in the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. In this critical juncture, we have to see what great statesmen did in the entire world. From the shackles of apartheid, Nelson Mandela was able to bring democracy. Then Abraham Lincoln, from the shackles of slavery, he was able to abolish slavery. So we have seen that not all, Chitra said, or not all politicians are liars, because they are good statesmen also. Because
even in India we have Atal Bihari Vajpayee, even Lal Bahadur Shastri
Nehru,
as well.
I mean, lots of people, even Deve Gowda. I mean, there were lots of people. Even Lal Bahadur Shastri also. I mean, he never used to change his clothes. I mean,
I was thinking more in terms of contemporary politicians.
No.
Of course, the scenes have changed post 1990s, of course.
Now the problem is, if we do not have electoral reforms, we will not be able to see good politicians. Because good politicians are honest. Honest people are poor. And if you look at the, all the statesmen in the entire world, if you look at the Greek history also, Cicero, Demosthenes, they were quite poor, but they were able to speak out. They have a free mind. For example, Socrates, Plato,
Right.
they were able to guide the people. We need statesmen, we need people who can guide the people, who can lead us also. But the problem is, we are in such a situation where we are trying to force our leaders to speak on our behalf. And in this aspect also, we have to look at the electoral system of India also. We have 543 MPs. We have just 2 MPs in the Lok Sabha. We have just 1 MP in the Rajya Sabha. So we have just 3 MPs to speak our mind, to speak to voice our concern also.
Yes.
So I think we need good statesmen, we need good politicians to represent us, and whoever is elected tomorrow, whether Basanta, Bimol, or whosoever in the outer, we have 4 candidates, in the inner we have 6 candidates. We hope that they speak out their mind, they speak on behalf of the people, and they speak out their mind also. And in this aspect also, I will just finish by saying that
Yes.
most of the MPs earlier, they were able to speak against their own government, whether
Right.
it was statehood, whether it was Article 371C in 1971, whether it was 8th schedule, whether it was it was imposition of 8th schedule. At that particular time, most of the MPs were from Congress. They were able to speak against their own government at that particular time. And in this juncture, we will say that we want MPs who will be speaking on behalf of the people, not on behalf of the government.
The dedicated leaders who want the best for the people. So since our time is almost up, so I'd like to come to Pabung to put it very briefly that
Sure.
tomorrow, if the BJP candidate does not come to power, let's say he is not elected and the Congress or maybe the independent candidates win, do you think that suppose the BJP, we have the BJP regime here, BJP regime in the center, and suppose the MP candidate Basanta does not win tomorrow, how do you think it will impact the state of Manipur from tomorrow onwards? How do you see that? Just put it very briefly.
No dramatic change will be there.
Okay.
All habit dies hard. It will remain the same. If I'm a drunkard, till my last breath, I will continue to still somewhere. I will try to find out some ways and other to sip 1 or 2 packs till my last breath. This is the way.
Right.
But in Manipur politics, I'm not talking about the center, particularly like the communist, the leftist group. They have certain principle. They hardly change it. This is what I have been observing last 60, 70 years onwards. So example, the Manipur, except in Manipur, one the leftists, one CPI, one minister who happened to be one of my colleague. He's from Moirang somewhere. That he jumped from the CPM, then joined to the Congress or some other party. I was in a different state, so I'm not fully aware, but I know him very well. Otherwise, normally by and large, they don't change it. But in Manipur, we are only Ayaram and Gayaram, where the money lies, where the position lies, where the paisa lies, where personality lies, I will jump there.
Okay.
आपका जितने भी इज्जत मारो झाड़ू, अपने आप को जरा पैसा बनाओ, फ्लैट बनाओ, बिल्डिंग बनाओ, शोहरत में अब जियो. That's called the politics.
Right.
Manipur, actually, all leaders like Risam Kese, I bow my head to him, although he's no more, his children might have heard it. They've got a strong principle. Even, you see, we deserve, like Moirang Koireng, like even R.K. Dorindro, like even Alimuddin. But today's young politicians, now the present government led by the BJP, how many of them they ran away, decamped from the Congress? What kind of a principle they will be having it? Because they want the position, paisa, power, jahan hai, udhar hi ja karke aap jhanda lagao. So, what you expect from them? If the BJP government falls, just example, tomorrow, you see that here, the present BJP government, they will wind up their old beddings, they will run away from the other party, who formed the government. This is the principle Manipuri we have heard. We have not learned the good things. We have learned only the worst thing. As I said, without doing any work, we want the easy money. How? Without executing any work, I get my what is called the contract, the sign in front of the government, huge crore rupees. We get it, and without attending office, I am getting my salary. So this is called the Manipur.
Yes, indeed. Very beautiful point. Since our time is almost up, I do want you to continue.
You talk and make fool politicians. Today's principle is you talk as much as you can in a very decorative language. You try to praise them. You go on praising it. But by evening you say that he has already folded up in his own bedding and he is shifted to his another camp.
Yes.
This is called the Manipur politics. And our sister, she has rightly said that politicians, they talk too much and we cannot trust them. But I said that politicians, they are a blatant liar. Not all, majority of them, since they have no principle. So to whom we should believe, we should trust. Just as long as you are in the chair, we salute you. We don't salute you from the core of heart, because we know what you belong to.
Very beautiful point.
So this is the principle. You destroy Manipur or you save Manipur. We don't trust the politicians. We trust our own people, CSOs, and we have to protect the Manipur. This is my arts, and this is my appeal, and ardent appeal to the world people.
Very beautiful point. As a closing remark from Pabung Sonamani, since we have discussed the topic, the last 5 years of PM Modi's regime in Manipur, and also we predicted some trends of how the next 5 years will go, and although our panelists have agreed that we don't see much change because old habits do die hard. On that note, I'd like to conclude today's episode. I'd like to thank Chitra Ahanthem for joining us, and also Pabung P. Sonamani and Satyajeet for joining us today and discussing and giving a very engaging topic, engaging discussion for us. Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. And please do tune us again for the next month, and also tune us tomorrow, that we will be live broadcasting from 8 a.m. the counting of the election results, and you will see it right here from ELITETV. So until then, have a good day. Have a good night. Sorry.